So what do we do? Oh, Alliance is a plastic injection mold repair and finishing company. Does anybody know what that is besides my kids? You do? Okay. James, you know what that is?
Yes.
What is that?
It means that you make mold.
No, we don't make mold. We work on molds. Yes. We do have a laser machine, but not for cutting, for engraving, yeah?
Like molds as in like for machinery parts and stuff.
Yeah. So, Ron, can you go to the next one? Has anybody ever been to the zoo and seen one of these? You got a polar bear of those, right? Right. So that's a mold, right? That's a mold. The mold opens and closes. And when it closes, so the mold has a reverse imprint of the thing that you're actually trying to print. And so when the mold opens, the part falls out. When it closes, a hot substance, for this instance, it's wax, goes into the mold. The mold closes, it cools, it opens, it pops out, and you have this amazing sea creature or polar bear or gorilla or whatever it is, right? And so that's the small idea of what a mold is. And everything made out of plastic is made this way. What's the next one? So like pens. You can just kind of run through these, Ron. Pens and floor mats and Lego and sunglasses, model parts, health equipment. What else is there? Headlights, car parts, automotive, Jiffy lids, the jar. It's all made out of plastic, right? And so we are going to talk about one specific part of plastic. So this is, who knows what this is? A bottle cap. Does this bottle cap seem like anything special to you?
Yes.
It does?
Yes, because it's a bottle cap. It's worth
All right. So I don't think there's much to this bottle cap. But how do you think this bottle cap is made? What goes into actually creating this bottle cap? Yes, there is a mold. But let's see, what are the steps, what are the processes to create this cap? So first, the cap has to be thought of, right? Somebody has to look at it and come up with a sketch and a drawing and say, this is a product that we want to create. There has to be a reason to create something, right? So that is a drawing. It's not for this exact part, but this is a customer of ours who actually started with this part. And this is the drawing. So they have to figure out measurements, they have to figure out size, they have to figure out how many grips are going to go around the side, they have to figure out how tight it's going to be. All of these are things that somebody has to think about. And then it has to go to a mold designer. So the mold designer has to think of every single part and every single thing that is going to have to go into this mold to make it open and close and function in a way that is going to give us this perfect and exact part. Lila, did you have a question?
Yes, I did. So what about, I've probably
How are bottles made? That's a different conversation. Today we're going to focus on the cap. So, okay. So this is, these are all the parts that go into creating something like a bottle cap. Okay, what's next? All right, so then once it goes to the mold designer, it has to go to the mold programmer. So the mold programmer has to take every single part that you just saw on the slide before and then figure out what cutting tools they're going to use and how many paths they're going to take in order to cut every single little thing out of every single piece of steel. And you have to figure out where to get the steel from. So you have that. Okay, next. Then it has to go to the mold maker who takes the programming and inserts it into the machines and then cuts the steel for every single part that has to come out of to build the mold. Next. These are some of the parts that go into making this bottle cap. So every single one of these things, yes, every single one of these things, keep going. All of these things have to be assembled in the exact proper right order. And if you don't hold it, that part is now garbage and it gets scrapped. So that's to make a bottle cap. Keep that in mind. All right, next. So once you have the mold finished, now you need a molding press. And the molding press is the thing that opens and closes in order to shoot out these amazing little parts. And so the plastic goes in the little hopper, and then there's a big screw that twists, and as it twists, it pushes the plastic, the little pellets, down the line, and as it's getting pushed down the line, it's getting heated up. It turns into molten plastic. The molten plastic goes through a little spot, and then it spreads out inside the mold. The mold closes, the mold opens, and then the part comes out. Okay? Next slide. So this is a quick video of what that looks like when parts are being made. Oh, the music is fantastic. All right, you can go to the next one. You get the idea. All right, so that's great, right? That's a bottle cap. Where's God in a bottle cap, right? Well, would you say that your life is slightly more complex than a bottle cap? I mean, would you say that your life has slightly more value than a bottle cap?
I would not. No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, you would be wrong. You would be wrong if you said not at all. Okay? What's the next one wrong?
I'm better than no, I mean.
So this is a human cell, right? There are 30 trillion cells in a human body. Each one is infinitely more complex than a bottle cap, right? And yet people think that somehow we are accidents, right? Somehow people think that we just came to be. Somehow people think that there was this big explosion, it created some sort of life accidentally, and accidentally we continue to change and morph over time until we are what we are today. Accidentally. I just showed you all the steps it takes and all the people and all the brain power and all the things to get this, and I left out a ton of steps. And if there's one mistake, it's garbage and it gets scrapped, right? So God is in all the details. God is in the creation. God is the first creator. He's the first manufacturer. He's the first thing with a brain and with energy and with the ability to create and create perfectly, right? And so Psalm 139 says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full and well. My frame was not hidden from when I was made in your secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." So God knew, right? God was all of those parts. God was the brain power. God was the engineer. God was the designer. God was the producer. God did all the things for us, and that's not an accident.